The next part of our formatting in Excel training is to look at a new section now called Shapes and Graphics. So here you'll still be working in the formatting workbook, but we are looking at the second sheet called Shapes and Graphics. Now in this particular sheet, we're looking at inserting shapes, but in general, it's not something you'll use regularly in Excel unless you're trying to highlight certain information or make something stand out, in which case you can also use comments. But if you did want to insert a shape for whatever reason, you could do so very easily. So on your worksheet, you'll notice there's a menu at the top called Insert, and there's a group called Illustrations, and this is where we handle all of our shapes, graphics, illustrations within Excel. You can choose pictures from your computer. You can choose online pictures where you can search for pictures from Google. But in this case, I'm going to show you how to insert a shape. So you click on your Shapes drop-down arrow, and you get a variety of different shapes that you can use. So in this case, for example, I maybe want to point out a particular bit of information and highlight or emphasize a certain transaction. I'm going to use the left arrow. Then you'll see your mouse will turn to a very fine cursor. This now allows you to hold your mouse button in and drag to create the shape that you are looking for. And then you can move it down. So I'm going to highlight this particular transaction, which was quite large. You will notice that Excel will automatically format the shape in usually a blue format with a blue outline. You will also notice that you've now got a new menu when you click on your shape. It's called the Drawing Tools Format menu. And these are all the options related to the formatting of your shape. If I clicked off the shape, you'll notice that menu disappears. So to format the shape, I click back on it. Over here, I can insert a shape again if I'd like to. I can also edit my existing shape and change it because maybe I've decided that that's not actually what I'm looking for. I can also choose to insert a text box, which is text as you would normally type it in Excel, but the difference with a text box is I can format it and move it around. So I'm going to show you how to insert a text box. And inside I'll put the highlighted data below to be discussed. So this way I can actually change the size of my text box, move it around and format it as I want. Now to format my shapes or my text boxes, we'll use our Shape Styles box. So there are some predefined styles here for you to choose from. Or if you would like, you can, I'm just going to format the arrow, you can choose the actual fill yourself, as well as the shape outline, and any special shape effects you would like to add to it. If you have used a text box or you've put text inside of your shape, which you can do, I'm just going to put my name in there, you can simply select the shape. Just click on the border to select it, and you can also change your text fill, text outline, and any other things that you would like to change inside of that particular shape or artwork or diagram. Like I said, inserting of shapes and diagrams are not very common in Excel, but they can be useful to help display important parts of information. And can I point out that they also do print. So if you do insert shapes and text boxes within inside of Excel, they will print as you set your print areas. I think the most important part in terms of graphics and shapes in Excel is quite a new section called SmartArt, which not a lot of people know about, but make it really easy for us to create certain diagrams that are very useful. So I'm just going to move a bit over so that I've got a blank sheet. I'm going to go to Insert, and directly below the Shapes button, there's a button there that's called SmartArt. SmartArt does not work like a chart. Instead, you input the information as and when you choose the SmartArt you want to use. So it's really for high level information. If you want data to represent graphically, that's when you would use a chart so that the data can update dynamically. So I'm going to click on SmartArt. You can see that there's different types of SmartArt you can use. There's lists, processes, cycles, hierarchy diagrams, matrix charts, pyramid diagrams. In this case, I'm just going to choose a process so I can show you. Once you've chosen the type of graphic you want, click OK. And it'll bring up a little toolbar for you to work on, as well as you'll notice two new tabs at the top of your menu. So in here, I'm just going to put in a quick process. Step 1, Step 2, and Step 3. From here, I can now format each one individually, or if I click on the border, I can format the entire graphic. So if I go to the Design menu, this really helps to edit and change what it looks like as a whole. So you can change your layouts if you've decided you've chosen the wrong layout. I quite like that one. You can then change your colors. There's predefined colors. If you don't like them, remember you can change them individually by selecting on each item. Now let's say, for example, I've decided that I've skipped a step. We actually have step 1.1 that needs to go in. I can either use my toolbar over here to enter it, or I can right click any step in my diagram and I can say add a shape after or before this one. I'll choose after and it'll automatically fill it in for me. I'm just going to put step 1.1. And that's a basic list. Now to create this manually would take us a really long time. So it's a very, very smart and professional way of when you're looking at organograms, when you're looking at process flows in Excel. This is a very useful thing to use when trying to show it professionally. Keeping in mind, SmartArt also exists in Microsoft Word as well as Microsoft PowerPoint.